Hi, I just thought I'd record another video talking about something that's been really important to me or been brought into my awareness a lot this week. Something I have known about, something I've been aware about for a period of time, but as I say, over the last week, it's come into my self-awareness even more. And this is about the fact that we need to act now. When we have a thought, when we're given some guidance, when we feel we need to do something, that we really need to act straight away. So a lot of the process that we've been talking about and learning lately, as I say, I've learned through an online program called The Universal Business, and it is about ask, listen, act, trust, that type of process. So a big thing for me has been this act now. When you have a thought, act on it. And this can be as simple as, you walk into the room and you notice something on the floor. Pick it up rather than walk past it and think it's somebody else's, or I'll get that later. If you have a thought that, the washing needs to be done, go and do the washing now. So it can be in those everyday household activities. It can be in a conversation you need to have with someone. When you think of someone, give them a call, drop them an email, send them a text, tag them on Facebook if that's what you do. If you have a thought about something that you needed to speak to someone about, try and do that now, or at least initiate the conversation now. It's coming into your awareness at that moment for a reason. Now, the things that have become that I've become very aware of this week have been more related to building a business, listening to my intuitive thoughts and acting on those. So I have an online blog called Unleash Your Happiness Guided Thoughts, and this is something where this video will probably be posted on there, but it's a blog where I share things that I did not know, where I asked a question of the universe, of God, of a higher being, of my higher self, of my intuition, of whoever, whatever you want to call that higher energy. And I get an answer, generally in the form of writing. I'll ask the question, I may go and meditate, and then I will be guided to write, and there will be some answer in that. So I share those thoughts on that blog. Now, last week I was busy doing other things, and I kept getting ideas for this. So there'll often be questions that will come to me, or short little quotes or comments, and I think, I can expand on that. So I was writing those madly down on a piece of paper. I knew where that piece of paper was at all the time. It was just like doodling almost. There was things written, circles around them, highlighted, asterisks, that sort of thing. And I'd put it in my to-do list for a couple of days to get those thoughts ordered. Not to necessarily do the writing, but to make sure they were ordered and I had them down in one of my journals. So I'd put that in my to-do list. I'd changed it a couple of days as I hadn't dealt with it. And yesterday I went to do it, and guess what? The list was gone. I can't find it. It's not in the rubbish. It's not in the one of 3 places where it could have been. It's not in my files. It's not in my journals. I just can't find this piece of paper. And I actually really remember even where I put it, and it's not there. And I really think for me, this was a lesson in I didn't act when I was guided to. So I felt quite comfortable in just writing these ideas down. I knew at the time that it wasn't necessarily the right time to be going through the guided thought process. That for me needs to be, I need to have a good half an hour. It needs to be quiet. I need to be able to concentrate. But I was told for 3 days to get these thoughts in order, to get them down on a more permanent, in a more permanent book, not just on a scrap piece of paper. I ignored that, and now they're gone. Now, I trust that I'll get more thoughts. I will have more things to share with you. And someone said, there could be a lesson in that the time was now to let them go. They weren't the right thoughts. But I really looked at it, and for me, the lesson was act now. If you get a thought, if you get a feeling you are meant to do something, do it. Do it now. Have the conversation. Act. Put the thing away. Do whatever it is. A few weeks ago I was at home. Actually, I returned home from picking my daughter up from dancing, I think, and I just noticed our front step was a mess. And it just hit me that, that's the entry to our house. That's the entry to our family's soul, so to speak, and it was messy. It wasn't in order, and that didn't feel right for me for the flow of energy. So 10:15 at night, and I'm straightening up the front porch and sweeping the front path. I would never normally have done that, but the thought came to me then, which really meant it was meant to be dealt with then. This can simplify your life hugely. If you just act when you get that first thought, things don't pile up. Things don't tend to get a mess. And, mess and clutter does affect our energy flow. And also, I think that is when we're acting from our higher self, from our higher good, from our higher purpose. When we act on those intuitive thoughts and act now, the timing is then right, we go with it. So that's been a big lesson for me this week, is really making that effort to ask, listen, act, and trust. I tend to find most of those are easy except the act. And I want to act, but I want to act in my time. And I need to act in the universe's time. And that is when I get the pull to do it. I should respond initially. So I just thought I would share that with you. It may be something that resonates with some of you. Are you not acting straight away? Are you trying to put your own plans around it, your own timing around it? Maybe it will help if you just for a week, just do the experiment. For a week, if it comes into your awareness, you will do it now. So if you're sitting and you're writing a report, but all of a sudden let's say you work from home, you're writing a report, it really needs to be done, but all of a sudden you get that thought, I must get the meat out of the freezer for dinner. Go and get the meat out of the freezer. It can be that simple. But alternatively, if you're there and you're cooking dinner and you get that thought, just go and write that on Facebook. Maybe you need to follow that as well. So it can go both ways, professionally and personally. I really think a big one of these is when you think of someone, reach out to that person. In some way, some format, just reach out. Let them know you're thinking of them. And who knows what relationships, what connections, what difference you might make in somebody's life by doing that. So just for a week, just be aware. What's coming into your awareness? What are you focusing on? What is your focus being drawn to that will probably indicate that's what you're meant to do right now? We are so often caught up in what we're doing in the moment that we don't look at these other things. I totally agree. Be present in what you're doing, but be aware of what else is going on. Generally, if you're really involved in something, these other thoughts won't come in. So really be aware, listen, and act now. Try it for a week or so and see how you go. I just think you're going to be so much more productive in the right areas. I think you're probably going to make a bigger difference in people's lives, including, and most importantly, your own. So I think that's the big lesson. Act now. Let me know how you go with it. Till next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.